Because resources are unevenly distributed, trade in commodities has become an enormously important part of the global economy. In this lecture, we will examine key concepts and spatial patterns in the changing geographies of industry and service, to include the primary industry and staple theory. These topics are important to geography to see and understand how and why the spatial patterns of industry and services have changed in a global setting. One group of industrialized activities involves the extraction of natural resources from the earth. This group is called the primary industry. The logging that cleared the swath of forest in British Columbia, Canada, as shown in the top right photo, is an example of a primary industry. Primary industries include other extractive activities such as fishing and mining as shown in the other photos. These products in their raw form are called primary products, and when people assign an economic value to them, they become commodities, much like that of commodification that we talked about in Chapter 2. The staple theory was developed to explain how commodities affect the economic development of a region. A staple is a primary product that dominates the exports of an economy. Staple theory says that the economic system of an area is shaped by its natural resources through linkages, which are other economic activities that emerge in conjunction with a specific primary industry. There are three types of linkages associated with this theory. One is forward linkage, whereas this linkage processes the staple resource once it's extracted, such as a sawmill in the example of logging wood. Two is a backward linkage, whereas this linkage is the activity that helps access or extracts the resources, such as a saw blade manufacturer or engineer who develops the road to get to the natural resources. And three, a demand linkage, whereas this linkage is the demand for and purchase of consumer goods, such as the consumer demand for furniture from wood. Relying on staples, however, do not always equal economic growth for the country, and it contributes to staple or commodity dependence. This happens especially in developing countries, whereas they are heavily dependent on exports of primary products. Countries where the four major commodities account for 60% or more of the exports have high commodity dependence. As an example, commodity fuel dependence is high in the Middle East and Africa, as is shown on the map. Please pause the video and answer the following. Describe staple theory and provide a specific example. In your example, include the staple, where it can be found, and its three linkages. You cannot use wood logging as your example. In your own words, using the text as a guide, be thorough and specific with your answer.